Good day, dear viewers. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And Teddy B is now joining me. And I hope everybody out there is having a wonderful day. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Season's greetings to you. And even if you don't celebrate anything, welcome. And I hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful time of the year, that you're able to spend time with your family. And I appreciate you taking the time to spend time with me as we react to Death Battle, the finale. Now, we have seen a whole host of matchups from Death Battle. And some of these matchups are the long-standing bouts that fans have wanted since day one, like Sam Fisher versus Solid Snake, Goku versus Superman. Mine just drew a blank. But sometimes we get matchups that we never knew we wanted, like Lich King versus Sauron, Popeye versus Saitama. But today we're getting one of those fights that fans have requested for years and years and years. And finally, Death Battle is delivering. Galactus versus Unicron. These are two titanic entities of cosmic origin that just devour life, that devour worlds and planets and galaxies and realities. And we are going to see what happens when these two butt heads finally. Now, I know a little bit about both these characters going into the fight. I personally have more experience and I'm more familiar with Unicron because I grew up watching the Transformers Armada cartoon, and I even have the action figure back in my room, still in its sort of planet mode. But I do know Galactus, but if I had to choose a favorite of the two, I would choose Unicron. I just like the design, the aesthetic, and the overall feel of Unicron a lot more than I do Galactus. Now, Galactus I do think is an awesome and badass world eater, but I sometimes feel like maybe we tend to overhype this guy because we've seen time and time again in comic books, cartoons, and video games are the heroes being able to defeat him and overpower him. And I know his one true weakness is something called the Ultimate Nullifier, which apparently erases all of existence. Which, yeah, it's kind of like the Flood. The only way you can really stop the Flood is by wiping out its food source, and Galactus is constantly hungry. He constantly needs to feed on planets with sentient life in order to sustain himself. And Unicron, he just does it for because he wants peace. He wants silence. He wants there to be basic order, but chaotic order, I guess you could say. But I've spoken enough about these two characters. It's Transformers versus Marvel, and we are going to see who wins this season finale of Death Battle. And let's sponsored by BetterHelp and Whoa! Just like they did with the last one, they showed a little bit of a clip beginning.
Galactus, devourer of worlds.
Galactus, devourer of worlds. And Unicron, almighty chaos bringer. That's right, it's the day we've all been waiting for.
I remember that Galactus is from Fantastic Four movie, cartoons by Hanna-Barbera.
To find out who would win a death battle. Boomstick, what is the nature of evil? Oh, it's 3.5 beers too early for that kind of question, Wiz. No, seriously, is the wolf that hunts the hare evil? What about the bear that kills the wolf? Or the man that slays the bear? Is that evil? or nature? Perhaps this question was on Galen of Ta's mind as he hurtled toward the end of infinity. I'm pretty sure the question on his mind was, how do I turn this goddamn spaceship around? Eons ago, the planet Ta was a paradise, the most advanced civilization the universe had ever known. Too bad the universe was coming to an end.
Me
I
too.
hate it when that happens. The Ta'an scientist Galen watched as the rest of his race ignominiously perished and decided to die gloriously on his own terms. By flying a ship into the sun, just like great-grandpappy Boomstick, the crazy old
Jack Kirby
but
art.
instead of being
Nothing like
vaporized
it.
on contact like great-grandpappy Boomstick, Galen got bitten by a radioactive god. As the last living thing left before the universe's end, Galen was visited by the sentience of the multiverse, who merged with him as part of a cosmic cycle of death and rebirth. As the old multiverse died, a new one was born, and the scientist Galen was no more. In his place was a
Ultimate
being
Alliance.
of untold power, the ravager of galaxies, Galactus. Well, despite looking like a masochist, K-Dog here is one of the strongest beings in all of Marvel, baby. And there's only one thing he wants to do: eat friggin' worlds. Galactus is so unbelievably, mind-meltingly powerful that
Victim of countless backstory retcons.
describe him. Just being near him will begin to warp your perception of reality. In truth, he isn't even really a physical being with a soul anymore, but composed of energy itself, the power cosmic. Basically, your all-purpose space god magic that no good almighty ass-whooping god can go without. Sure, he can use it to blast your ass to unholy smithereens,
Yeah.
but it's a lot more flexible.
I mean, we've
too.
had Silver
Described as
Surfer,
being in
and
touch
he's
with
a
every
good
other living
representation
thing at
of
once.
what
The power
Galactus
cosmic
can do
allows one
because they
access to
both
a new
use the same
infinite
power
pool of
source,
knowledge
the power
and
cosmic.
ability to sense danger ahead.
And we
I don't
actually
think
got to
there's a
see
lot for him
Silver
to be
Surfer
afraid of.
in
He can
this
manipulate
very
matter,
season
read and
earlier
control the minds
against
of
Martian
gods,
Manhunter.
and
Hey,
teleport
Rom.
entire galaxies across the universe. The power cosmic allows
And we
him
also got to see
fundamental control
Transformers
over
in this
life itself,
season
manipulating
earlier,
souls,
but
creating new
I'll
life
talk
forms
about
from
that later.
nothing, and even resurrecting the dead. And because his body is composed of energy, he can't really be hurt in the traditional physical sense. This allows him to grow or shrink his body
Dummy's
with
back.
seemingly no limit, and alter his appearance. Wait. He chooses to look like that? His physical appearance matches the species observing him, so a human sees a human Galactus, a Skrull Galactus, and so on. Oh, so it's just like how I see the world. What matters most to me in the world. Awesome. No, not awesome. Very not awesome. At least as far as Galactus is concerned, since witnessing his approach is itself the end of the
Rise of
world.
Silver
You would
Surfer.
only have enough time to pray to your paltry gods before Galactus consumed your entire planet, absorbing its energy into himself, then moving on to his next meal. Man,
Hate to
I guess
eat
his costume is appropriate because he's
Die and
sounds like a
dash, as
total
it were.
dick. Like, come on, man. You watched your whole planet die. Now you're gonna go around the universe doing the same thing? It's not entirely his fault. Galactus' power is so immense that the only thing that can sustain him is the consumption of entire worlds. Without this constant feeding, he would perish, just as humans would without consuming plants or other animals. Kinda like how I hunt squirrels, because I hate each and every one of them. No, categorically the
Squirrel
exact
Girl, one of the
opposite,
few people to beat Galactus.
isn't vengeful or cruel. If he could avoid any unnecessary death, he would. But just as the universe is bound by the laws of physics, Galactus is bound by his hunger. And that hunger
Here you go.
has put him in
I've seen the
conflict
Silver
with
Surfer
some of Marvel's other heaviest
cartoon.
hitters, like Odin and the Phoenix Force. Galactus' fight with the Other and the Scryer got so intense, they threatened the entire infinite multiverse just as a side effect of the battle. While Galactus himself can comfortably cross countless light years in seconds, some of these beings are more like abstract concepts than actual living things, many of which operate outside of linear time.
A
Like
nihilist.
this alien bug dude who tried to use Galactus' energy to destroy 2 whole universes. Even after being drained by him, he still nuked 3 whole star systems before getting a snack. Should he somehow be threatened by beings beyond even the scope of his power, Galactus crafted a device to solve
ultimate
all of
nullifier.
his problems. The ultimate nullifier. In case that name isn't obvious enough, it's a teeny tiny weapon that destroys anyone you think of. It doesn't just destroy them, it destroys everything. The entire multiverse is eradicated, then recreated without the target. An extremely roundabout way of winning,
Aye.
but it works. That's exactly what happened when Galactus used it on the abstract god of destruction, Abraxas. He destroyed the god of destroying things with a Happy Meal toy. It's like my therapist said, great things come in small help packages. And the nullifier was key to Galactus' first great defeat upon his inevitable arrival on Earth. When that pesky Reed Richards managed to get his stretchy hands on the thing, Galactus finally backed down and spared the planet. Which makes no practical sense. The ultimate nullifier is a part of Galactus himself. It uses his own power. He can summon it at any time and even escape its effects by hiding in a pocket dimension. It even had the safety on. Maybe he was just bored. After billions of years of cosmic genocide just to survive, I'm pretty sure Galen forgot what it meant to be mortal. Perhaps that was the true evil all along, the slow death of Galen's humanity. Because what could be more terrifying than a being that sees everything and
As
everyone
food.
you know and love as nothing more than his
Like a
next
zombie
meal?
almost, but not dead. So that was Galactus. That's a lot to take in, but it's not like other matchups where I'm like completely lost. I do know a little bit more about Galactus and Unicron than other characters that we've seen on the series so far. And I don't know what the Ultimate Nullifier would do to Unicron. I know that he's sort of an omniversal entity, but I don't know if maybe Unicron could hack the Ultimate Nullifier or something like that. That would be pretty wild. But
all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed
but
therapist.
yeah, I would not be surprised if Galactus won this one. I know a lot of people have been rooting for Galactus and have their bets wagered on Galactus to win. But I'm hesitant because I'm still waiting to see what Unicron has for us.
In the beginning, before heaven and earth, before light and dark, there was Unicron, created by the formless, primordial being known as the One to explore the fledgling multiverse. Unicron instead decided to consume everything. Dude, come on! Bad Unicron! Bad God! Bad! The One decided to split Unicron
I love the
into
editing.
two beings. One of order and hope known as Primus, and the other of goodness and
Unicron.
evil known as Unicron. Again, like all good sibling
I mean, why
rivalries,
waste a
they
good
pushed
name
each
like
other's
that?
shit in over the fate of all existence. That is, until the goody little two-shoes Primus tricked his bro into imprisoning their souls in giant asteroids. Classic sibling prank. For me, it was the dryer. Primus terraformed his asteroid into what would later be known as the planet Cybertron, while Unicron did something
I'm not sure which one has more
his planet
experience.
into a planet that eats other planets. Not only that, it can change its form into a giant badass robot Satan. He's literally the first transformer.
I think they're
And with this
both
new
several
body,
billion
Unicron
years
will
old.
travel the cosmos, consuming planet after
I
planet,
just don't know which
universe
ones,
after
if
universe.
experience
Not necessarily because of
will
any
be
hunger
much of
or
a factor in
need,
this.
but because Unicron is the physical embodiment of death and destruction. He is literally programmed to destroy everything. God's gotta do what a God's gotta do. And good luck trying to fight back. Uni's robot body comes with a tractor beam, eye lasers, fire breath, a chest cannon, and an antibody system in case anyone tries to pull a Drax on him. Unicron can mentally dominate an entire race of beings, erase things from existence, warp the fabric of space and time, and even manipulate matter itself. So even if his big robot body is damaged or destroyed, he can repair it lickety-split, or even send his spark out to find a new host. Essentially the Transformers version of a soul, Unicron's spark is immensely powerful and produces its own energy source, Dark Energon. Unicron is so evil that he can literally turn his bad dude energy into weapons of mass destruction, like unholy blades or planet-busting lasers. This Dark Energon will corrupt any that consumes it, turning them into a puppet
Now, what
of
would happen if
Unicron himself. It's
Galactus
also,
tried to
obviously,
feed
the
on it?
opposite of regular Energon, which is created by Primus and what fuels the Transformer race. So Unicron basically runs on the opposite of life. If he's death as a big robot, can he even be killed? Not by any conventional means. Even the destruction of his spark isn't guaranteed to end him. He will continue to exist as a necessary force that drives the cosmos. Anytime he's destroyed, he will appear again in a new universe. In fact, almost every Unicron you've seen in movies, TV, and comics are the same Unicron.
Unicron is a literal force of nature. You can't reason with a hurricane that hates you. All you can do is see it and get the hell out of the way. But this hurricane is never gonna stop until you and everyone you know is DED dead. His mere presence drove an entire planet insane.
I was trying to be poetic before, but this is what evil is. Incomprehensible, undeniable, inescapable. You can't even wait him out. He is unbound by the concept of linear time.
The Chaos Bringer is so powerful, his mere presence wrecks the space-time continuum and can erase galaxies from existence just by strolling by.
To be clear, it isn't the force he's generating by moving that destroys things. It's his existence. His mere being is so overwhelmingly evil that the fabric of space-time cannot fathom.
Sounds like one of the
Unicron's
teachers I once knew.
Dude, no
Sounds like a
wonder he
teacher
was
I've
able to
known.
devour nearly a quarter of the entire multiverse, one universe at a time.
Estimates for the size of the Transformers multiverse vary, from over 15 quadrillion universes to an infinite number of universes, branching timelines, and planes of existence. And who better to portray a being who brings death to the universe than the man who gave birth
Yep.
to modern cinema? A final role fitting for an artist so much larger than life. Or deeply ironic that it's a feature-length toy commercial.
Transformers.
I remember his name, but Citizen Kane.
Excellent.
Despite that unbelievable power, the
But
Chaos
his
Bringer's
voice in
unlikely
the
rampage
Transformers
through reality
movies-
has been halted a number of times,
Chef's kiss.
usually due to the matrix of leadership, the essence of Primus himself, and the embodiment of all hope and light in the universe.
Are you telling me that Robo-Satan was defeated by the power of friendship? Forget fear! I'm gonna need some of that shit going straight into the vein!
As the abstract idea of evil actualized, any notion of goodness is directly antithetical to his being.
As incomprehensible to Unicron as he is to us.
But despite the best efforts of heroic Transformers like Optimus Prime, Unicron has always returned from the smoldering ashes of defeat and risen to threaten reality again.
Beast
It's
Wars.
his very nature.
Such as the time a united armada of Autobots, Decepticons, and an entire people created from his cells, the Minicons, tried to destroy him once and for all.
They actually succeeded in killing him until Galvatron's hatred for Optimus brought Unicron back to life.
Because challenging Unicron means challenging evil itself, destroying destruction itself, an impossible paradox.
You can't kill Unicron because killing is literally what Unicron is. So, what does that mean for us?
Every petty act of violence, every war, every cruelty, every death battle gives Unicron life. The life he'll use to kill us all. We are culpable in our own annihilation.
Unicron's not just some comic book villain. He's all there is and all there will be. He was there at the beginning, and he'll be there at the end. He's a law of physics. He's as inevitable as your dying breath.
Jesus, now you got me scared.
Ooh. I'm still rooting for Unicron, but in my heart, if Galactus wins, I will understand. But like I said, I'm more familiar with Unicron as a character, or I'm a bigger fan of Unicron as a character and as an entity and a franchise. I remember being introduced to him as like a child, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. Like, it's a Transformer that's a planet! And I just thought that was the coolest thing. But I don't know if Unicron has a hack for everything, but I don't know if Galactus can actually destroy like something as fundamentally a concept as Unicron without like recreating him. Because Galactus himself is kind of like,
Go to store.roosterteeth.com to
whenever he arrives, it's like, how do you think people are going to react? So I'm still rooting Unicron, but I will not be surprised if Galactus wins. So betting, I'm rooting for rooting on Unicron. Wouldn't be surprised if Galactus wins. Ooh, the animation already is sick. Oh! It's like, mine.
This planet is mine to consume. So saith Galactus, destroyer of worlds. Be gone, Unicron.
The animation is just beautiful.
Madness, so quick to pay for Oblivion's embrace.
Oh, I like that black hole in the distance. Ooh.
Fleeing so readily, Unicron. Transforming. Beg not for mercy, behold blackening sky. Against mine chaos, even gods will die. Galactus meets your challenge. Here's this will bring destruction.
I love.
Destruction, pure finality. First and last, true immortality. I have no patience left. Return thy dreams into the void where none may hear your screams. You know not the power which you command. Of course I do. For death I trust in man. Finally, I have won. I've seen your power, bringer of chaos. Yet thy vigor thou hast much need. Witness the last fate that awaits you thus. For almighty Galactus must now feed.
We know Galactus and Unicron were beings who could manipulate reality itself and do basically anything.
Older than the universe, unbound by time, they had each other matched in a lot of ways.
So it ultimately came down to which of them was more powerful.
Both could threaten an entire infinite multiverse, but Unicron could only do so over time, devouring them one by one.
While Galactus' battle with the Scryer and the other threatened to destroy the entire Marvel multiverse as just a side effect.
Not to mention, Galactus tussles with cosmic beings like himself all the time.
While Unicron is usually the top dog in Transformers, he's a big fish in a relatively small pond. Relative to Marvel.
That might sound better for Unicron at first, but it means he has way less experience than Galactus in full-on fights against dudes his size.
And while Unicron has used Dark Energon to infect and corrupt other beings in the past, Galactus technically doesn't have a soul thanks to his cosmic rebirth from Gal. And he's fended off mental attacks before, so there's no real reason to think that would work.
And as lame as it is, the ultimate nullifier is just really overpowered.
Despite Unicron being able to survive the destruction of his spark, the Ultimate Nullifier is significantly more thorough. Consider the time it was used against Abraxas.
Right, but it looked like Unicron actually possessed.
the multiverse's destruction.
Sounds like somebody you know. Even against someone like that, the good old.
But he basically did infect it or possess the Ultimate Nullifier. So
Just as he escaped the nullifier before.
Unicron was an insanely terrifying threat, but Galactus had the power, experience, and arsenal to ultimately annihilate him.
If you thought Galactus was going down in this fight, you were Unicron.
The winner is Galactus.
props to Galactus.
Season 10's done, but Season 11 is on the way. Thanks so much for watching, and a special thanks to our channel members for being champions this year. Get ready for more Death Battle in 2024.
I knew that we were going to get that. But as for this, the fight was great. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily. I think when they said the Ultimate Nullifier was OP, but like you saw in this, that Unicron basically turned that against Galactus for a moment. So I don't know if what was up with that. But again, it was a great fight. And in terms of like cosmic destruction, I don't think you could have ever gotten anything bigger than this. Whew. I was nervous the whole way through, and I still love my boy Unicron. But yeah, when they relay certain things like in the conclusion, it kind of is like, yeah, that makes sense. But whew. I was nervous throughout that whole thing. But I think that it definitely lived up to its the hype that people have wanted this fight. Would I prefer it to have been in my favor? Absolutely. But I respect the outcome that we were given. Information changes over time, so maybe Unicron might get a bit more experience in some regard later on down the line, like Goku might, but I just don't know. But having said that, what do you think, dear viewers? Did you like the fight? Did you love the fight? Did you enjoy, disagree, agree with the outcome? Please let me know. I also have several fights that I've been working on for on Discord pages, and I shouldn't plug this in, but I will anyway. Gosh darn it! I have matchups like Beowulf versus Achilles, a clash between two epic legendary warriors, in the same vein as Hercules versus Sun Wukong, but I think a little bit more fair. The Stalker versus Starkiller, Warframe versus Force Unleashed, and I have the Doomslayer versus Doomsday. These are three of my favorite matchups, and Assassin's Creed versus Dark Brotherhood, the Order of Assassins versus Dark Brotherhood, Elder Scrolls versus Assassin's Creed. These are some of the fights that I've wanted to see for a while, and I doubt that these would be popular enough to be made, but gosh darn it, I still want them to happen at some point. And maybe they could be put on a champions poll or something. I don't know, but I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Take care.